What is up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of The Long Dark, where I made a really big fire over here, and I don't know if I should have. It might have been a mistake. That book is watching in horror right now. Look forward to your hell, literature. Look. Look. No one cares what happens in Great Expectations. Look. This is what happens. This is what happens when you infuriate us, Great Expectations. I have a real bias against Great Expectations. Great Expectations was the book that taught me to hate literature. It was an awful book. Why they force kids to read it, I'm not really sure. It was just and what's weird is that I liked a lot of the books that I read in my literature classes, like I enjoyed them, but for whatever reason, Great Expectations was just such a chore to read. I ended up just like winging it and just being like, oh well, and just kind of half-assing it the entire time. The teacher knew, but I was like, this book is just terrible. This book is the worst. Can we just not read this anymore and read something better? Not a fan.
Mrs. Havisham.
I was not a fan. I was not a fan at all. It is odd, because there were other books of similar tone that I did enjoy. I have no idea where the line is. It just kind of came out all wrong for me, I think. It came out all, no, we're dying of thirstiness. Okay, so since our throat is beginning to feel sandy and upset, I figure I should probably get on top of this, right? We're also naked, weirdly enough, but nah, it doesn't seem to matter. Let's go ahead. That would be super badass if the paper doll, that's what you call it. If the paper doll in here actually added the clothes that you looted, that's a major feature for me. I like knowing what my character looks like. Like when I put on new gloves and I see my character's hands, I like it when the gloves are on the hands. Obviously, that might be a little bit outside the scope of like a little indie developer, but still, I will lust after it and you will deal with my lustiness, and there is nothing further to discuss here. I'm going to eat the rest of this bear meat right now. Today was just going to be a barbecue cookout day. Imagine how good this place would smell right now. Just all day cooking meat inside of here. Oh, it smells so good. Unless you're a vegan, I guess. Although, my vegan friends admit that meat still smells good. God, that's so much meat. At what point can I no longer walk anymore from being overburdened by pounds and pounds of meat? You know, I think this might actually take all day, so I'm going to throw the sticks in there real fast. We also need more water, and so I'm going to use whatever I have left over with wood just to kind of boil off water for the rest of the day. Today is a supply day, making sure that we have everything we need in order to forge forth into the future. And of course, that's the place where I would make my third, fifth, whatever joke. It's the easy joke. It's the one that lines up very simply. You can get it in sights. You can take a shot at it. No one ever seems to really care. It comes up all the time, and yet nobody ever calls you out on it. Pretty great as far as jokes go. I mean, if you get to recycle, you get to recycle, but if you don't, you don't. Keep this bare meat, although what would you put on your meat? Your meat should always be bare when you grill it, right? I guess some people like to put marinades and stuff like that. I'm not one of those people. I like to taste the meat. Like, I will, after I've had a good steak, I will then play around with different marinades if I get like the same type of steak or whatever. But I don't know. In general, I don't like marinated steaks. I don't find them to be quite as pleasing as some. I feel like if a steak is cooked properly and it's a good cut, it should be fine with nothing on it. Like, you should be able to just plop it on a plate, a little bit of garnish or something, maybe a French roll with some butter, and you should be able to just eat it totally bare. It should have nothing on it. No salt, no pepper. If it's a good cut and a good cook, it should be fine. Granted, most of the time you're dealing with subpar meat, especially if you go to, like, the supermarket or whatever, like it's, you know, factory cut and all that sort of thing. So then, yeah, definitely, I'm going to throw some marinade on it. Put some of that Omaha steak powder on it and a bunch of other stuff and just kind of do my best to keep it hydrated while I cook it and just pray that it doesn't come out like most supermarket steaks do. However, I've been forced to cook with propane lately. I personally am a charcoal man. I have always been a charcoal man. I actually enjoy the flavor that you get when you put like apple wood in or charcoal or like various types of wood that you can put in there to change the flavor of the meat a little bit. I am staunchly opposed to propane unless you're marinating. And then if I'm marinating, I'll usually go with propane because I focus on the marinator. I focus on the seasoning, you know. God, we're not even going to get... We had like 6 hours of fire, and we're still not going to get this all done. This is brutal. All right, so with 15 minutes of fire left, I'm going to have to pick up some more of our reclaimed wood, I guess. I don't really have much of a choice. This should be enough to keep it going, though. We got 8 reclaimed wood, and we've got... Let's throw the sticks in first, because those are a renewable resource. We get lots of those. How much meat do I have left to cook? Way too much. I think 3 hours should hold it, but since we're making water, too... You know, I think I'm not going to have an opportunity to boil off too much water. I think we're actually going to be stuck here. It's okay. We can fix it. It's not that big of a deal. But, yeah. Lots of variables to consider when barbecuing. I'm not like an anti-propane elitist. Not one of those people. I think actually coffee sounds great. Let's drink a coffee real fast because I'd be willing to bet our character's probably getting tired by right about now. All work-related tasks in this game tend to slow you down a bit. Eat that too. We'll drink off some water because apparently all this time spent around a fire has dehydrated us. I think this is like almost the last of our water though. I think we have like 2 more liters. And so that's still 6 liters is enough to... Oh, never mind. We got like 8 liters. We might be fine without boiling any water today. I won't be super panicky about it, but we'll get the rest of the bear meat cooked, so anytime we need to come back in here and get ourselves restocked, we can do that. I'm not going to leave it like out in the open. It'll obviously be inside the meat locker, but for right now, this is the task of the day that needs to be accomplished. I've been doing a lot of scavenging and a lot of hunting in the last couple episodes, and ensuring that we get this done is going to be a major part of, you know, surviving long term. It's one of those things that like most people I think would overlook or they would cut out of their series. But I'm going to leave it in because I feel like it's important. If you wait too long to cook stuff off in this game, I don't know, it goes bad. You don't get the proper mileage out of it. I just want to make sure that it's all ready to go. And there it is. The tin of coffee is not a terrible idea, but instead I think I'm going to melt off another 5 liters of snow. That's going to take at least an hour or so, and whether or not we actually get to boil it, we're not going to get to boil it, I don't think. We'll get to boil off some of it, but not all of it. Well, we might have timed that. That's weird how that came out. That came out almost perfectly. That's like freaky perfect how it came out. Alright. Well, let's crack out the lantern real fast. Lanterns love crack. I don't know. You gotta keep your stash away from them. They will go through it with a quickness. And they won't leave money in the jar or nothing. They're greedy about that shit. Alright, so now that we got all that cooked off, I'm feeling pretty solid about our future planning. Probably take a couple of those out with me later tonight, but now that we've got almost 10 liters of water with us, I think we'll drop off maybe 6 of it. Alright, that looks good. On this side, I'm going to drop off the remainder of everything else we have kind of just sitting around in our supply. I'm going to drop all the coffee for right now because I see no reason to boil it. I could make coffee. I could. Coffee is really useful in this game, and I think it's probably one of the most underrated items in the game. Coffee can definitely take you from, like, a life and death situation to just kind of a situation that's slightly inconvenient. And so anyways, I highly recommend you always keep coffee around in your backpack in this game because it'll make your life quite a bit easier. No, I don't want you to do that right now. I don't want your body. I don't think you're sexy. Come on, lantern, let me sort. Alright, so there we go. We'll take it to this side. That's one of those songs that you have to sing at the top of your lungs whenever it comes on just to make everybody else around feel awkward. If you want my man, and you think I'm nasty, come on, sugar lemonade. Keep those stacked up on this shelf over here. Although, obviously, this is not the best organizational job I've ever done. Yay! We have oodles of foodles. Although, I think you would surprise yourself with how little this would last. Like, for realsies. I'm going to get over by the bed real quick. Is there something up underneath there? Oh, it's a can of peaches. It's all wrecked up. At 10 hours of darkness and metal. Alright, so I'm going to eat some 90% or 99% bear meat. What's the other 1%? I don't want to know. I'm not going to look at it too closely. I will probably drink off some water real fast, too, before we go to bed. We got our weight allotment back down, and that's all that I really care about. I don't look forward to leaving a lot of the wolf parts and things back behind that we left on the lake, but I did find another frozen corpse that's a deer, and so we might be able to grab that to get ourselves some further hides. And so just stuff to think about while you're out here. You're going to need a high-gauge needle, though, to do leather work. I don't know if, like, your average sewing kit comes with the needles that you would need in order to do proper thread work with leather. My dad's a taxidermist. Did for a while, anyways. Kind of a Renaissance guy. Does lots of stuff. And I remember when he would sew stuff together with leather, it always seemed like a pain in the ass. Because he was doing it by hand. Like, he didn't have any, like, the fancy stitching machines or anything like that. We are parched right now. That's cool. Better parched than parchment, I guess. And then that takes us down to 24. We're a little peckish right now. You could probably get away with one of these bad boys. And so line it on up. will eat you. I always try and go after the stuff that's going to go bad first, the perishables. I play every survival game like that, so, you know, it's nothing specific just to me. I'm actually going to reload some of this stuff, too. I need scrap metal. I need... toolkit would be fantastic, and I need some kerosene. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get our illumination source all nice and kitted out real fast. Take my actions, refuel this guy right here. Cool. I'm going to go ahead and repair him too because this thing is busted as hell. And I need it to be in better shape. And so I don't know if it actually affects the way that this thing throws light around. But if it does, oh, look at that. The repair comes out perfectly. Well, keep on repairing then. Yep. Perfect. What you need to ratchet on this thing, I don't really know, but sometimes shit gets ratchet when you hang out with Splattercat. That's what you learned today. We still have 1.5 liters of kerosene left. That's not enough to make me feel super good about using lanterns. I'll probably get some torches or something ready pretty soon. Everything else... I am going to need to get scrap metal out of some of this stuff because we are going to have to run repairs on all of our gear pretty soon. From the hatchets to the knives to the guns, they're all going to need to be cleaned out and repaired pretty soon. Gun cleaning and that sort of stuff is very important. My old man does that. I don't own a gun, and so I can't give you a personal anecdotal story. But my old man, that was one of the things I remember growing up, and still occasionally when I go over to his house, he'll just have all of his guns out, and he'll have them disassembled. He'll be cleaning them. I'm not sure how frequently he does it, but he does it, I don't know, probably once every couple months. He breaks them all out of the closet. You come home and there'll be nothing but gun parts piled up on the dining room table, and he'll be cleaning them on out, oiling them, and getting them ready. Making sure everything's taken care of. We got the workbench over on this side. I really feel like I must have missed something in here. There's just so much stuff around. The deer hides are almost good to go. Well, one of them is. How many do I need to repair this, though? Just one, or do I need two? I just need one. Oh, good. Okay, so that's perfectly fine then. That's not that bad. 30% repair will get us back up in there, too. So, we're going to get more mileage out of these deer hides than I thought we were going to get. I'm going to go out the back real fast. We wiped out all the wolves in the previous episode, but they respawn pretty rapidly. I mean, this area is actually kind of a bad place to make our base. It's kind of chilly out right now. It's kind of chilly. Okay. I'm going to go ahead. Don't buy drinks at Chili's, by the way. Oh, it was just me. I went to Chili's. We talked about chili, and so that's how it came up. Don't question it. Anyways, I went to Chili's the other night, and we got, like, their loaded margaritas or whatever. Because I don't drink very often in public. I rarely go to bars. Every now and again, I'll go to the pub with friends. We'll hang out there and catch a game or something and just chill for a little bit. Especially since one of my friend's girlfriends now is a bartender at the bar that we go to. And so it makes it that much easier to go out there. We don't get free drinks or anything. I wouldn't ask that anyways. That's messed up to go to somebody's job and expect, like, free stuff from them just because you're friends. Anyways, every now and again, she'll give us free appetizers or something when it's near the end of the night and if there's nobody else at the bar. So anyways, let me get back on the subject at hand here. I think we might actually do a little excursion out this way. I need to chop up some more wood, though. And this house is still fertile as far as that is concerned. Sometimes there's a cellar around here, but I don't see it. Maybe the cellar's a rare spawn, or maybe I walked right past. Is that it right there? That might be it. Hold on. I think this is it right here. Yeah, there it is. Oh, we can't go down into it? Well, that's what the cellar looks like. For whatever reason, this one appears as though we can't get inside of it. So maybe it's burned out for right now. I have no clue there. It'd be cool if you could chop down this fencing and chop down dog houses and chop down the burnt wrecks, too, to get wood out. Maybe not a lot, but something. Oh, we got a big old stack right here. What is this, a cedar limb? Yeah, get after it. I'm okay with that. Looks like the temperature's holding out, so we should be okay. Visibility's down, though. Visibility is one of those things in a survival situation where it's your call, but operating with poor visibility is a bad plan. I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, it's up to you if you really know the lay of the land, but I wouldn't risk it. Even if I knew where I was, it's just way too easy in a blizzard to get yourself locked down and in a situation that you cannot make peace with. Woo! That storm came in out of nowhere, didn't it? Visibility's still okay. So I think I'm going to stay on it for right now. Although it looks like we done run out of road over here. Yikes. What is that, a cedar limb? Take 45 minutes. Yeah, we'll come back for it. Nice thing about this wind is that maybe it'll knock down some limbs that we can harvest, but other than that, we may have to wait this one out. We got simple tools outside. And your goal in life should probably be to not be a simple tool. That seems like a pretty good reference for life, but anyways, I don't know. Maybe there's nothing wrong with being simple. Maybe just don't be a tool. I mean, I guess there's nothing wrong with being simple as long as you ain't hurt nobody with your ignorance, so there you go. Suppose I'll make caveats here. Never a man to hesitate from retreating from the things I've said, if I got time. Newsprint roll over here. We should be fine indoors, like, this should be more or less what we're looking for here. I'm trying to take back real firewood, so I'd like to avoid chopping all this down until we get what we want isolated. Nothing inside the cabinets. Pinnacle peaches. I feel okay about Pinnacle. I love peaches, actually. Canned peaches are good. You can put them in water or you can put them in syrup. I'll eat either one. I have always been a fan of peaches and peach preserves. I grew up when I was a kid. We had an apricot tree and a peach tree. And then later on, we had a pomegranate tree as well. And man, I love myself a fresh pomegranate. But we had to install, because these were fruit trees that we actually would like give to our neighbors, and like we would keep like large stores. We would try and preserve it off, basically. My mom used to make like pallets of preserves when I was a kid because she was a housewife. She hung out at home and took care of the kids and all that stuff, and you got to occupy your time somehow in that situation. I mean, not every moment is taken up with the kids, and so she took up preservation of things, making cobblers and things of that nature. So anyways, we always had lots of preserves and jams around the house when I was a kid. We'd also give them out and sell them and things like that once Christmas came around, a couple bucks a jar, just to earn extra money. My mom had like her own like little personal bank account that she would use for like personal expenditures. I don't know exactly how it works. I think every relationship works a little bit differently when it comes to money. Anyway, she would sell the preserves so she'd have her own money for whenever there was something that, you know, she wanted to treat herself to, but she didn't want to take out of the general family fund, you know what I mean? So anyways, it's amazing the amount of fruit you can get off of like 4 trees. Nowadays, there's just a horse apple tree, a crab apple tree, a pomegranate tree. Don't have the other 2 trees anymore. We got a basic winter coat right there. That'll be nice as a backup plan in case anything ever happens to the wolf coat. I don't think anything's going to happen to it, but just in case, I'll probably hold on to it. Pictures on the walls. Pictures on the walls. They should let you examine the pictures. There's something eerie about pictures when you're all by your lonesome. That right there is a waste of good furniture. And definitely would not fly at my house. You're running knives up inside the furniture. Be like, come on, man. Have a soul here. This is nice furniture, too. This looks like heirloom furniture. This looks like the kind of furniture that cost you a little bit of scratch. Definitely be kind of upset if someone then supplemented that by smacking the shit out of it with a knife. Take a belt sander to it and fix it and then refinish it, and that sucks. Because I don't like doing manly home decor things. I find that to be a nuisance. I know how to do it, but that doesn't mean I want to. I find no enjoyment in it. Not to speak down of anyone that does, but I'd prefer to keep the home repair to a minimum. If I don't have to fix something, why set it up so that I do have to fix it, you know what I mean? Taking care of things, I think, is part of being a responsible adult and, like, holding on to, like, the nice things that you have and curating them properly. What's the point in having nice stuff? You're just gonna run it into the ground and destroy it. Then again, I came up of humble means, and so that's how I was raised anyways. Take care of stuff. You got a pair of shoes, don't go jumping in mud puddles with them, wrecking them up, and stuff like that. This door, I thought there was a basement in this place, but it looks like I can't go down there. There might be another access around the back. We can go have a look. Don't think I want to break that down right now. There's also no fireplace here, which is troublesome. You know, there's various tasks that I could do. It's like somebody came in and busted up all the TV screens, too. Like, it's weird how some things around here... I guess there was that electromagnetic... I don't know if that would actually affect LCDs aside from just making them go bzz and turn off. Let's rest for a little bit. We got a couple hours of daylight left. If I give it a couple hours, maybe the storm will blow through and we can head home. We have to stay here for the night. It's not something that I want to do, but we have supplies with us, so it's not that big of a deal. We can camp out here for a bit if we have to. Sounds to me as though I just wasted a whole bunch of lantern fuel, too, like an idiot. I really wish it automatically put the lantern out when you went to sleep. It really bugs me that that's not like a default feature. Like, she holds the lantern in her hand while she sleeps with it turned on. It bugs me. It's a thing that's always bugged me. I didn't bring my can opener with me. Oh, I do have a can opener. Good. Let's bust open some peaches then. Let's save the dog food for last, although dog food actually doesn't seem like it would be that terrible in all honesty. Some of the cat food I feed my cats looks just as good as like normal shredded chicken or whatever with a marinade that you get from the supermarket. I'm sure it's a lower quality meat. It's probably like chuck and all kinds of ground up, you know, gristle bone and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know. I don't fear it. I don't really dread it or think it's disgusting like I think some people would. I'm not fancy. I can handle it. We'll try. I mean, if the weather's manageable right now, I wouldn't mind leaving. However, if it still remains... Looks like the temperature's up. Well, maybe not. Wind chill looks like it's getting us. And unfortunately, on this side of the building, I was going to say, we should have shielding from the wind chill on this side. I think we're just going to have to wait this one out. This is pretty nasty weather. I'd be kind of worried trees are going to get knocked down and stuff, too, fall on the house. I don't know, though. I'm not used to this kind of tempestuous winter weather. We have, like, sideways rain here, and we have sleet, but we don't have anything like this. Coldest it gets around here is usually about 14 or 15, and that's like in the dead of February, late January. Whereas for the rest of the times, it's usually like mid-30s, high 30s, and it just rains all the time. I mean, it's still too cold for you to really go outside, and the rain like freezes the second it hits you. Helps it cut through whatever, you know, waterproof layering you're wearing. Yeah, they were just going to have to hang out here for the day. So while I waited on out, my name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerd Castle for the next episode of The Long Dark. I will see you in the next episode. I will continue to keep playing the game because I enjoy it. I feel like public interest kind of fell off a little bit, but I think that might be my fault just because I spent a bunch of episodes doing boring stuff. So anyways, I will see you all in the next episode. How you do, everybody?